The outside of the International Space Station will be the size of 2 football fields. Ugh.
You've been working hard all day, conducting scientific research, saving multi-million-dollar satellites, building space stations. That's when it strikes. Deep space hunger.
Oh, my stomach feels like a black hole. Only one thing will satisfy this appetite: Astro Burger.
Astro Burger, may I take your order, please?
Yeah, I'll take an Astro Burger, please.
That's right, Astro Burger. Forget about eating lunch out of a tube or a bag. Astro Burger is a real meal, made just the way you like it.
Thanks, Astro Burger. Now I can land the shuttle without deep space hunger.
Astro Burger, now conveniently located in Earth orbit. Rendezvous with Astro Burger and
Send your hunger into deep space.
with Astro Burger.
Oh, hi. I'm Phil, and these are my really heavy bands.
Oh, you mean I can't wear my hat and be an astronaut? All right. No, that's okay. Hello, it's only my favorite hat.
Well, the spacesuit is really just a mini spacecraft. But it's more than just fabric and oxygen. There's also a battery back here for power, a radio for communications, a computer, and a whole bunch of other stuff. This part is made up of a bunch of different layers. That's to protect you from the harsh environment of space. First, the vacuum. If I went outside the International Space Station without this pressurized spacesuit on, my blood would boil. And I don't know about you, but anytime my blood, or really for that matter, any of my major body fluids is boiling, I try to find something else to do. Next, there are the temperature extremes. Remember, things outside can either get very cold or very hot. When you go outside in the winter, one of the first things to get cold are your hands. So the astronauts have heaters on their gloves. And then inside, it can get very, very hot. So they wear this fancy underwear. Normally, we keep cool by sweating. Air passes over our body and cools us as it evaporates our sweat. And it's the same reason you feel cool when you get out of a swimming pool. You're wet, air passes over your body, and cools you as it dries you off. We don't want the astronauts to sweat. For starters, that's a yucky, wet, sweaty astronaut, and that's really never been good. And secondly, we don't want them to lose that body fluid, because they'd have to drink a lot of fluid to replenish themselves on their spacewalk. So we cool the astronauts by conduction. There's enough tubing in this garment to stretch the length of a football field, and we pump cold water all through that tubing. That keeps you nice and cool. The layers also protect you from space debris and micrometeoroids. These are little particles of natural or human-made stuff that fly around space at very high speeds. Now, nobody's ever been hit by one of these, but the spacesuit does have to provide some protection. Because in spacesuits, and really throughout NASA, leaks are bad. Finally, the suit has to let you move. Remember, it's just a big balloon shaped like a person. But a balloon doesn't want to let you twist or bend unless you do something to help it out. See my elbow? I can't bend that at all right now. But if I move it around to the right position, it bends just fine because there's extra fabric on the outside to move as the inside contracts. You also have to have ball bearings inside the suit. So you can do things like move your wrist around. Oh, I hate that when that happens. Then we also have a ball bearing in the waist, so I can do this. And ball bearings on either side of the shoulder, so I can do that. Oops. Of course, you don't want the American flag in your armpit. We haven't really checked it with the Supreme Court yet, but it can't be a good thing.
When you drive a screw into the wall in your house, everything works out fine. The screw turns and you don't, because gravity holds your feet to the floor. But it works a little differently in space.
When an astronaut goes to turn a bolt on space station, or any spacecraft, the bolt's not going to go anywhere. They're just going to spin around the bolt. Which we found to be sort of fun, but not very productive. So the astronauts got to find some way to hold themselves back to the spacecraft, or they'll just float around. Think of this as my spacesuit. I can do light tasks by holding on with one hand, or heavy work flipping into a foot restraint, or medium tasks by clicking into a device like that, hooking up to the spacecraft and rigidizing it.
Have you ever said,
I'd like to grow vegetables on Mars, but the soil is just no good?
not anymore? Now, thanks to Martian Farmer, old, rocky, lifeless Martian soil can become a garden paradise.
It's amazing.
Martian Farmer adds all the necessary ingredients to grow flowers, plants, and even vegetables.
I grew this prize-winning tomato thanks to Martian Farmer.
Martian Farmer has a special ingredient that absorbs the heat of the sun, making permafrost a thing of the past.
Who knew that you could have a green thumb on such a red planet? Thanks, Martian Farmer.
There's only one planet Mars, and there's only one fertilizer for Martian soil. Martian Farmer. Martian Farmer! Seeds, rake, rocket ship, spacesuit, Martian lander, and Martian habitat not included. Results are not typical and may vary as sun sets on Mars and as Mars enters Martian winter.
The robotic missions to Mars have provided amazing insight into the planet's history. But that was only the beginning. Someday you might explore the planet yourself. So what would you wear for a trip to Mars? Well, scientists are already working on that very question, in a place you might not expect.
If you're on Earth, which most of you I'm thinking probably are, you're right there. This is space, except generally space is black in color, not white. It's the only figure I had of space. And we're out here somewhere on Mars. Actually, we're not really on Mars. We're kind of pretending like we're on Mars today. We're actually here in the Gulf of Mexico. We're following a ground track down south out of Houston towards Mexico and then back up to Houston. And we're in NASA's KC-135 aircraft. The hurricane recently went that way, and we're down here. We went the other way. That's a good plan in general. If the hurricane goes that way, go the other way. It's NASA's little safety tip for the day. The KC-135 aircraft looks like this when it's in flight. It flies parabolic flight paths over the Gulf of Mexico to simulate different degrees of weightlessness. Normally we use this aircraft to simulate the weightlessness that you would feel in the space shuttle or a spacewalk outside the space shuttle or the International Space Station. Like a spacewalk like this would be a good place to test out a suit in this zero-gravity plane. But a spacewalk on the space shuttle is not really a spacewalk at all. It's more of a space float. The suit was never designed to walk in, so the lower torso doesn't have much mobility. You just float around and you pull yourself along handrails. When we go onto Mars, however, we're going to want a spacesuit that does a lot of things that a geologist can do. You're going to want to walk around on the surface, take a hammer and break out rocks and pick at rocks, and then you're going to want to be able to pick rocks up and bring it back with you. If you ever go to Mars, that's a very important tip. Don't forget to bring back the rocks. It's like the first thing you learn at astronaut school. If you're stopping by Mars, don't forget the rocks. If you forget the rocks, you probably won't go back. You also want to be able to drive a buggy if you're going to get yourself around to the surface like the astronauts did on the moon. You're also going to want to be able to pick yourself up, because if you fall down on Mars, there's really nobody around to help you. And that little Sojourner robot that we sent out to kind of scout out the surface is not big enough to help come along and give you a little lift. You don't want to have to call back to Earth and say, I've fallen and I can't get up, and oh, by the way, I'm on Mars. As in Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars? Listen,
If you get to Jupiter, you've gone too far, okay? Houston, this is EV1. Do you have a jack?
That's a negative, EV1. Go fish.
I hate that. Always have to go fish. What was the number for 911? I can never remember that.